The invitation arrived on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. It was a thick white envelope with golden letters announcing a charity gala at the Grand Crescent Hotel. Normally, I would have ignored something like that. I had never enjoyed rooms full of wealthy strangers pretending to care about the world while quietly judging each other. But this time it was different. My company had recently partnered with the organization hosting the event, and my boss made it very clear that my presence was important. According to him, opportunities were often hidden inside conversations. There was only one problem. I hated attending events like that alone. After thinking about it for a while, I contacted a professional escort agency that specialized in companions for formal business events. It felt strange at first, but the agency assured me that everything was professional. The companion would simply attend the event with me, help with social interactions, and make the evening less awkward. A few hours later, I received a message. "Your companion tonight will be Elena." That evening, when the doorbell rang, I straightened my jacket and opened the door. Standing outside was a young woman in a dark blue dress. The fabric moved softly in the evening breeze. Her makeup was light and natural, and her hair was tied loosely behind her shoulders. She didn't look flashy like I expected. Instead, she looked calm, composed, and quietly confident. "Good evening," she said gently. "You must be Daniel." Her voice was soft but clear. "Yes," I replied, "and you must be Elena." She smiled and stepped inside. The drive to the hotel was surprisingly comfortable. We talked casually about work, travel, and the city. She listened more than she spoke, but whenever she did speak, her words were thoughtful. "Do you attend many events like this?" I asked. "Sometimes," she said. "Most people just need someone beside them so they don't feel alone in a crowded room." When we arrived at the Grand Crescent Hotel, the entrance looked like something from a movie. Luxury cars lined the driveway. Golden lights reflected across the marble floors inside the lobby. As we walked into the ballroom together, Elena gently placed her arm through mine. The gesture felt natural. The hall was enormous. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling, and soft music filled the air. Waiters moved between guests, carrying trays of drinks while people laughed and exchanged business cards. Almost immediately, my colleagues approached. To my surprise, Elena handled every conversation perfectly. She spoke politely, smiled at the right moments, and helped guide awkward conversations smoothly. Within minutes, she seemed completely comfortable in a room full of powerful business leaders. But what impressed me most wasn't her elegance, it was her kindness. When a young waiter accidentally dropped a spoon near our table, Elena quietly picked it up and handed it back with a reassuring smile. When an elderly woman struggled to pull her chair closer to the table, Elena gently helped her without drawing attention. None of it felt fake. Hours passed quickly with speeches, dinner, and polite applause. Eventually, the ballroom became warm and crowded, so I stepped outside onto the balcony for some fresh air. The city skyline stretched endlessly in front of us, glowing with thousands of lights. A moment later, Elena joined me. For a while, we simply stood there in silence. "You handled tonight really well," I said. She laughed softly. "That sounds like a compliment with a little surprise." "Maybe it is," I admitted. She leaned against the railing and looked out at the city. Then her expression changed slightly. "There's something I should probably ask you," she said quietly. "Sure." She stepped closer and lowered her voice. "My age isn't a problem, right?" For a second, I didn't understand. "What do you mean?" She hesitated. "The agency usually doesn't mention it unless someone asks. Most clients assume I'm older. How old are you?" 19, she said softly. The answer surprised me. "You thought I was older, didn't you?" she asked. "A little," I admitted. She nodded slowly. "I just didn't want you to find out later and feel uncomfortable." Her honesty caught me off guard. "Why are you doing this job at 19?" I asked. For a moment, she didn't answer. "Because dreams are expensive," she finally said. She explained that her parents had passed away years ago. Scholarships covered some of her college expenses, but not everything. She needed money to survive while continuing her education. "What are you studying?" I asked. "Education," she said with a small smile. "I want to become a teacher." That answer surprised me the most. Inside the ballroom were hundreds of wealthy people discussing money, investments, and influence. Yet the most genuine dream I heard that entire night came from the girl standing beside me. We talked on that balcony for almost an hour. She told me about the small town where she grew up, about the teacher who once helped her during difficult times, and about her dream of opening a learning center for children who couldn't afford proper education. By the time the event ended, most guests had already left. As we walked toward the parking area, the night felt calm and quiet. Before getting into the car, Elena looked at me and smiled. "Thank you for being kind tonight," she said. "Kind?" I asked. "Most people don't care about the story behind someone's life," she said softly. "They only see what is in front of them." Then she paused and added something I would never forget. "Sometimes people think kindness belongs to the rich and powerful, but the truth is, the people who have struggled understand kindness the most." She waved goodbye and stepped into the car that came to pick her up. As the vehicle disappeared into the night, I stood there under the streetlights, thinking about everything she had said. I went to that gala expecting nothing more than a formal evening filled with fake smiles and business cards. Instead, I met someone who reminded me that behind every stranger is a story. And sometimes, the people we expect the least from turn out to have the strongest dreams.